So we added gamification and built Livecube, right? We wanted to make it interactive and we wanted to make it engaging. And so we give points for a variety of things that make it a more interactive and engaging experience, like posting a photo, which is shown to be 5 times more engaging than a text message. Little hint for you, pro tip. In general, if you're using social media, include photos, you get 80% better engagement. And what happens is the audience is really set on fire because, first of all, imagine if I said to you before, and we'll try that space race back in a minute, but if I said go to that URL and download our app. First of all, it's socially awkward. It's not instant on. I know there are some limits that some of you have pointed out to us with being a web app, but it's not a very engaging and immediate experience. And by using our web app, it organizes the conversation so you could follow the conversation within each session. We auto-populate in that hashtag, so you don't have to worry about, is it GS, is it GS14, is it GS 2014, is it Gabe Rocks? It doesn't really make a difference because we pre-populate the hashtags for you. And by doing that, we've caused a lot of events to be top trending in times that used to take them a lot longer or never happen at all. We have both private and public options. I mentioned before, you can sign in with Twitter. We're adding other networks. You can sign in with an email address and password. It's driven by interactivity. It's not driven by being a brochure, which is what most of the other event-type experiences are for. And at the end of the day, can't this be just a little bit more fun? Can we make this a little bit more fun? And a lot of you have told me you've been having more fun. Somebody told me it's the most fun he had at an event in a pregame ever, except this company hasn't let me legally release that publicly, so I can't say who it is. That was him. And so it makes the whole conversation a lot easier to follow. And so let me tell you about what happens, right? So we talked about this game, the G Summit pregame. And so we analyzed what happened at that pregame. First, I want to show you some metrics that happen generally on Twitter. These aren't going to be completely apples to apples. You guys are welcome to poke some holes in them, which I'm sure some of you will. But general engagement on Twitter shows that 40% of people on Twitter abandon their accounts altogether. 40% of people on Twitter don't even use them. 54% of people on Twitter post once. Okay? Once. So we're going to call that light usage. The moderate to heavy users is 6% of the audience. It's really 1% of the audience posts most of the content. All right? So let's take a look at how that compares to what happened here, just at this pregame. We had 165 people sign in, actually register for accounts, generate 3,700 posts, 240 photos, 4,200 retweets or reposts. And I mentioned before we touched a Twitter audience of about 5 million followers. That was before the event even started, right? Before this event even started, we had all this activity, and many of you were talking with each other. Some of you were complaining to me about Livecube. I appreciate that. But regardless, there was a massive conversation going on about what's going to happen at this event in a way that never happened before. 86% of the people who posted earned a retweet. When was the last time that happened to you? When was the last time 86% of anything happened in a social media environment? Right? And so let's take a look at how that broke down. 30% of the attendees, or 30% of the users, didn't post at all. So we did a little bit better there. 24% of the people posted once. But 46% of the audience posted more than twice. 16% of the attendees posted more than 10 times. 7% of you, kind of crazy hardcore people, posted more than 100 times. More than 100 posts before the event even started. And because of that, we now know we'd have to tweak the system. But it was a really interesting opportunity for us. So if we look at how that compares to just general Twitter engagement, right, they get 6% moderate to heavy usage. We had 46% moderate to heavy usage before the event even started.